morning, everybody. This is David McDonald, and I'm your host. I'm going to be doing this daily devotional. Good morning to everybody who's there tuning in with us today. I'm more than happy to be here and excited to go over today's devotional. It's day 3 of 5 of How to Human. Just want to send a gentle reminder to everybody out there. If you're looking for consultation with regard to your lives, maybe marital consultations, personal, spiritual, business, whatever it may be, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to help with doing a coaching session or scheduling a coaching session. It comes in 3 different packages. So you have the 15-minute discovery package, you have the 30-minute plan package, and then you have the deep dive package, which is 60 minutes. And again, it's donation based, so you give what you can at the end of the session. And I have some experience in this stuff, so I'm more than happy to help. Just DM me for more on that. Now, so today we are going to talk about justice. We're going to talk about justice and this feeling or this idea that you get sometimes when you know something is wrong, but then you're a little bit hesitant because you're concerned about how people may think of you. You're hesitant to say something because you're concerned about how people will think of you. And so Jesus always says, hey, I represented justice, divine and righteous justice, that is. And so don't be ashamed or afraid to stand up for what you feel in your spirit is right. So powerful stuff all the way through. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Okay, so day 3 of 5, be justice. Somebody told me once that Jesus would never say Black Lives Matter. Jesus would obviously say all lives matter. I get it. Jesus lived on this earth for the purpose of all lives. Absolutely. But when you read the Gospels, you can make a case not only that Jesus would have said Black lives matter, but that he also would have said Samaritan lives matter, Gentile lives matter, Jewish lives matter, leper lives matter. Jesus was not vague in his standing up for the oppressed group of people groups. He shattered the status quo. He spoke up for marginalized people again and again. His agenda was bigger than politics or culture wars. It was human. Jesus was completely interested in those forgotten, overlooked, oppressed. We can't escape it. So instead, we join it. This means that to be human, we put into action our conviction to follow Jesus. Remember when I said I didn't want to complicate this more than it needs to be? Here you go. Justice is standing up for someone who cannot stand up for themselves. This is about the point we realize that being human is going to cost us something. In fact, if it feels too safe, take up the risk factor a bit. Ask yourself if you will lose any friends by taking a stand. I'm not saying that you must sacrifice friends to be justice, but I am saying that it may happen. The beautiful thing is that you may lose them for a minute, but the more they look at you and what you are about, the more they will realize that they actually want to be a part of justice as well. The more they will realize that to be human is to be justice. A man who stands for nothing, falls for anything type of thing. People respect people with voice. And it feels a little bit counterintuitive because you're like, well, I want to just fit in. You'd be surprised. I encourage you and implore you to give it a shot. Stand up for what you believe. Deep down, everyone believes in justice. If we start by simply letting those in need of our justice know that they matter, that will open us up to relationships that will in turn lead us to being able to advocate for them in other ways. You have it in you. You have this justice muscle, and you can start using it today. So we'll come back to these questions at the end, and I'll kind of give you my take on it. Okay, so this is Isaiah 1. So now we're going to the scripture. Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Anything in red, kind of FYI, no, anything in red is when Jesus is talking in the Bible, usually in the digital space. So Matthew 22. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself, which is one of the top 2 commandments to live by. and we'll kind of get to that later. And then Matthew 25, the king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Okay. And then Luke 10, in reply, Jesus said, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So to a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was. And when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have. Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The expert in the law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise. All right. Nice and sweet, short and sweet. So another daily encouragement. Again, love your neighbor like you love thyself. As you go into the world today, if you see somebody in need, drop them a message, drop them a comment online. Give people their roses while they're here with us. I think that's a really important thing. If you see somebody doing something great, tell them. My personal act of going out and having a smile on my face and saying hello to people in a more goofy way, in a more silly way. When I say that, that's just what my nature is. Like I'm friendly and hello, just not making like hello, like super professional and really rigid. Like have fun with it is what I'm encouraging. And so let's go to the questions really quick, and then I'm going to log off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow here. So the first question was, why was Jesus so intentional about loving those outside of his own people group? Okay, now we all know this, especially the cool crowd, the nerd crowd, quote unquote, right? I always go back to this. My high school years were formative in me understanding that I just was not supposed to be a part of groupthink culture. I think that he was intentional for me anyway. I think that Jesus was intentional because it's very easy to kind of fall into a group, a support group, right? That supports everything that you do, that gives you strength and maybe hurting people, right? Or bullying people. Or, it obviously gives you confidence to maybe walk through the world a certain type of way. And I believe that can limit people's capacity. And so I believe he was talking about going outside of his own people group because we all are one, right? We have to include all, right? And in social media today, it's very easy to get that confused because it's like if I make a certain amount of money, or if I drive the right car, or if I do this, or if I do that, wear these certain clothes, you and me can't communicate. And I believe that's not how Jesus intended for this world to be. And so walking around with a smile puts down that cool pose, right? And then it opens you up to talking to all different types of people. And I'm telling you, it's an enriching experience because everybody has something to give. Doesn't matter their socioeconomic status, doesn't matter their race, whatever it may be. And so I say that's why he encouraged people to go outside of his own group. The second question is, do you believe in standing up for others is a part of loving as Jesus loved? Why or why not? I definitely believe that. Kind of goes back to my first answer. I do believe that standing up for others is important. And I feel like if it resonates in your spirit, right? And you're guided and you're led to stand up in whatever capacity that is. And you could be a family member. It could be somebody at work. It could be somebody in the public that you don't know. It could be many different ways and come in many shapes and forms. So I don't believe in like putting your mindset in a box from the standpoint of, oh, I got to stand up for everybody. I got to be a hero, right? But if that's what you're called to do, I say go for it. But as you continue to learn yourself and you continue to learn Jesus, all that will be made clear. So with that being said, beloved, I wish you a very happy Wednesday today. I will see you tomorrow for day 4 of 5. And please remember, if you need any coaching consultations, please DM me, or prayer requests, please DM me. Much love and have a great day. Beautiful.